Hey guys, and welcome to the Gamer Shelter. Dan here, joined by Dave for our third out of the 4 map reviews for the new DLC Endgame for Battlefield 3. This time we have Kiasar Railroad, that's how I'm going to pronounce it. And to start off, we're going to start with the look and feel of the map, as we do with all our reviews, to get just the main basics out of the way. So for the look and feel, I'm going to hand it over to Dave first.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of the way this map looks. It kind of is just kind of Caspian border all over again. It's basically just a forest kind of slash meadow. It's just got trees, very green, just rocks everywhere. It reminds me of that so much because it even has the same buildings on the map as Caspian border, as far as I know. You know, just the kind of construction building, gas stations. I don't want to say DICE got lazy on it, but it doesn't feel as new as the other two maps that we've had so far.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It just
definitely, it has that very familiar look and feel. Obviously, with the new things like the motorbike and everything, it adds new elements to it. But it's very familiar, and that's not to say that the whole map is a ripoff. Like the fact that there's like the machinery and like the lumber, like the big logs of wood and everything around, like it definitely adds new things like that to it.
Well, I'm pretty sure the lumber and that has been in the Armored Kill. But
oh, a big stack of it like that, huh? Okay, I don't remember that. My bad.
Yeah, but the map still looks very good. It still looks like a good. The graphics are good, a good Battlefield map. Like I'm looking forward to seeing it on PC because the Meadow maps do really look good on PC.
Yeah.
Because there's so much to render in. That's why it looks so much better.
Yeah. The flag layout on this one is actually really weird too. It's kind of shaped like an X with the U.S. deployment on the left side and the Russian deployment on the right side, and it's like, I don't know, you kind of have to picture. Dave's obviously gonna have footage in the background, but it's like A is the top left, B is the bottom left, D is the top right, E is the bottom right, and then C is right in the center. And it's this weird rectangle shape that I...
Well, it's like an X.
Yeah.
I don't know how to describe it. It's not... I don't know what they were thinking when they were designing it.
It's just not nearly as nice as the other two maps, with Operation Riverside having that straight map thing. It's really nice. I like that.
It doesn't seem as effortless to get to the flags. Like, it feels like I have to go out of my way to get to a flag because they're so far away.
Yeah,
all the other flags.
That's another thing, is there aren't as many connected roads like the other ones. In both of our other videos, we made a point that all the flags had roads that clearly connected all of them. It was really nice travel and everything. This one doesn't seem to have that. It's like they want you getting on the motorbikes and traveling over the mountains and everything like that, or the hills, to get from one flag to the other. And even though it's not like it's a lot of effort to go in there, it's like, oh, I have to drive to this flag, and it's not like it's a bunch of effort, but it's just not as nice.
Yeah, I agree, but I noticed that for some reason I found myself running more in this map than the other ones. It's like there wasn't as many dirt bikes.
I don't know, it almost...
Did you notice that?
Which is weird, because there was literally a point where we were standing at a flag and there was like 10 dirt bikes that spawned around us. But it was like there was nearly always a shortage. Mm-hmm.
Maybe when we were playing this one, we were playing with a squad, so maybe that's what the problem was, because there was obviously more people on the flag at the time, and me and Dan, there wasn't just a dirt bike for me and Dan all the time, because we were normally the only ones.
There was actually a full 4 of us there, including...
Maybe that has something to do with it, but it felt like there was a shortage.
Yeah, it's really strange. To describe the flags really quick, A is really simple. There's like one building there. I guess there's like a tiny shack too, so I guess technically there's 2 buildings there. And that's like it. It's a very simple flag. B, it has a lot of wood on it, a lot of those logs of wood, and it has a water tower there. It's actually called Water Tower in the game. C is the bridge. C, once again, best flag on the map.
Yeah.
It's so just amazing battles happen there. Very well designed with all the.
And I like how C is both of the teams kind of come up from a side and meets on a peak, kind of like kind of meets on a hill, like it's a train track going along. So you can imagine kind of a train track going through a valley. It's kind of raised above the rest of it. So the 2 teams kind of come up either side of the valley and meet kind of head glitching the train track and firing back at each other.
Yeah, I like it a lot. I love the feeling of that one. And then just to get the other 2 ones out of the way, D is just a gas station. We've seen it in almost every other Battlefield 3 map. It's just a gas station, yippee-ki-yay, straight out of Caspian border. And then E is kind of weird to explain too. It's kind of similar to B.
It's like a mixture of a construction site mixed with a wood mill.
Yeah, wood mill, and there's a crane right in the center. The little tip, really quick, is people like to lay in prone between the tracks on that wood thing. So keep an eye on that. They love it. I mean, that's nothing new again from the other Battlefield maps. Anytime there's a vehicle like that, people lay between there. But
also all the flags are pretty much no cover.
Mhm.
You know, and even if they do have cover, it seems to be they can just be blown up instantly. You know, by the end of a game, and you go to a flag, like when we went at the end of the games we were playing, whenever we'd go to A or B, you know, the ones that were kind of open, really open, there was nothing left on it.
Yeah.
There was nowhere to hide because the helicopters and the tanks and things like that were just constantly pounding them.
Yeah, and it definitely makes it feel like the vehicles have a much higher impact and that they're way more effective on this one. You're constantly, to me, it felt like I was constantly fighting two vehicles at a time. Like whenever I destroyed one enemy vehicle, another one pulled up to take its place. It was just constantly having to fight off enemy LAVs and the little birds.
Even though that though, it didn't feel like the vehicles were hindering us winning the game.
No,
you know,
definitely.
they're not overpowered, but they definitely were a little bit more of a nuisance on this one. Then I tend to, you know, the mix was maybe a little bit more in favor of a vehicle player, but you know, an infantry player can still enjoy stuff on this map.
Especially like if you were playing like us and you have a squad, like it doesn't hinder you at all if you're still working as a team and everything. I can see if you're by yourself, I can see it maybe hindering you just because there are so many of them. But if you're good, I don't see it having that big of an effect on you. You know, you can. There's plenty of ways
just use some teamwork.
Yeah. Which actually, that's another thing because the vehicles. This one is infamous, it seems, for landmines. Like I know the other ones kind of are too, but this one, you might as well just walk everywhere. There are just landmines every square inch, and that might just be because as we're doing these map reviews, the maps are less new. You know, this is the third one we've done now, so maybe more people are just catching on to the fact.
Well, I think what might be happening as well, we didn't mention it in any of the other reviews, but we've mentioned it before. You know, we've been talking is people are playing CTF and they're keep putting mines on, you know, because they're putting the mines around the flags. And I think that's transferring back into when people come to Conquest because they're not going back to their repair tool and they're like, oh, I don't have a repair tool, I have mines, I'll just throw them down.
Yeah, which could definitely be a big part of it, is that they're just like, oh, I still have this equipped, I might as well use it. You know, there's no reason not to.
Yeah, and you will see people put the mines down in front of dirt bikes and like literally, so as soon as you get on them, they'll explode, they'll be that close. So you know, you want to spot the dirt bikes and things like that before you hop on the flags or the bikes.
There's a lot of premeditated murder here with the landmines going on. People just like, oh, someone's gonna jump on this motorbike, and they put it down. The dropship on this one works pretty well. It's not as good as Riverside, but it's definitely better than Pipeline.
Still has that straight line.
Yeah, it's driving in a straight line across the map, which, you know, from thinking about it, it doesn't seem like that would be very good because the map is kind of shaped in a big X. You'd be like, well, it's only covering C then. But the fact that when you jump out,
open. Yeah.
When you parachute, you can just make it to the flags easily. You can get there. The distance isn't that bad, so it's pretty good. I still say it's not as good as Riverside, but that's just because that map was like designed for the dropship. Like
that whole map seemed to be, you know, designed for this DLC.
Yeah. The motorbike jumps in this one. I know Dave loves bringing up the motorbikes. You can talk about that.
It's pretty much. It's not. They didn't go out of their way to make jumps in this one. It kind of they just left the landscape a little bit more bumpy than other maps, like, you know, so you have all the ramp to jump over, but it seems to be all naturally occurring. You know, it's just you go up kind of the side of a mountain, you come back off the edge of it. It's kind of cliffs and things like that. It's not
rocks, this kind of thing.
Nothing really to get excited about on this one.
Yeah, it's really basic, which is kind of funny because it seems like you're on a motorbike way more in this map than the other ones because you're having to travel across the
I found myself actually a lot on the motorbikes getting stuck on things on this map, like hitting rocks and getting stuck, and I'm hitting like little railings, things like that. It's very, even though there's no cover, there's a lot of shit on the ground. There's a lot of clutter.
Yeah, a lot of tiny little 2 feet tall metal poles that pop out of the ground, and you hit it and you're just gone, and you're just stuck in place on the motorbike. You have to back up and then drive away. There's a lot of getting stuck on this one, but it might just be that we were worse drivers today, you know,
maybe
than the other ones. Another thing really quick is this map is insane with snipers, like everywhere. I mean, the amount of soul flams and spawn beacons and just people sitting on top of rocks with their snipers, it's because, like Dave has been talking about, the whole map is just open. You know, it's just open. You just get nailed with semi-auto snipers everywhere. They're unstoppable.
To add to that, you have all the bushes around and trees and vegetation, so you know, so they can just hide in them. So
yeah, this is a really big bushwalky map. It's insane with how many people are in there.
And obviously, it depends on how many, you know, what server you're playing on, but it tends to be a problem because you can nearly sit around C and you can nearly see all the flags. Like, you know, with a sniper rifle, you can take pop shots at someone. It kind of gets frustrating.
Yeah. Once again, not the hardest thing to avoid, but just something you're gonna want to know is it's going to happen. There's nothing you can do about it. So I mean, overall, we actually had a subscriber comment on our videos and say that this was his second favorite and I don't see it at all for me. It's not a terrible map, but when I compare it to Pipeline or Riverside, it doesn't come close to how much fun and how much I really looked and I was just like, this is a Battlefield map, you know? It doesn't have that.
It had the Battlefield feel when you're on sea, but otherwise no.
Yeah, it really just doesn't.
Like maybe with more players on PC and maybe a couple extra flags, it will have the bigger Battlefield map feel to it. But as far as a console map, I'm not a fan.
Yeah, Dave and I both agree too that we say this one could definitely go with more flags as opposed to the other ones where like Riverside could go for more and Pipeline we don't want any. Like this one, it seems like it needs more flags. There's just so much going back.
Yeah, there's a lot of traveling.
Yeah, between flags. It would be nice to have kind of a pit stop, you know, in between, you know, like have a F flag on the way to B, you know, something like that.
Yeah, I think part of the problem with that is though, it's like the C flag is so far away from A and B and so far away from D and E, so you cap to A and B and then you have to drive the whole way to C, and then say you beat the other, like you're in your fight with the other team on C, then you beat them to get to D and E. It's another long journey to get all that way again.
Yeah,
you know, if
they're going to be back on C again by then.
Yeah, if they had to put in it like A, B, C rather than A and B and then C and then D and E, you know, if they had to put in more of a straight line, maybe it would be better. Or maybe that's what they're planning on doing. Maybe they're going to have A, B and then a flag, then C, then a flag, then E, D, E.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know.
That's what I was wondering.
I'm hoping that's
like a really good design then. You almost get like a car shape going on instead of just a pure X. I'm kind of leaning towards them doing that. But I mean, overall, like I was going to say, it's not a terrible map. It's just that compared to the other two, it doesn't stand up to me. I'm not going to be playing on this one nearly as much as the other two. I legitimately almost like love the other two maps. They are Battlefield maps, and this one, it's just the Battlefield 3 map. Is it? I don't know. I don't really know how to explain it. I'm trying to explain it in like a Battlefield term, and it's just not as good to me. And I know that David tends to agree. So I don't know. You have anything else you want to throw on? Any tips or anything for this one?
I can't really think of any tips for this one in particular.
No, me neither. I was trying to. Other than the, like, be ready for snipers and the guys are going to lay prone under the equipment. That's pretty much
But, you know, if you played the Caspian Borders, the Firestorms, you played this one. You know, it's not... It's not that it's a bad map, it's just, it's not new.
Yeah.
It's what we're trying to say.
Yeah, definitely. Plus, like we were saying, this one is the spring map, I believe. And so it has that Caspian border look like we were talking about, and that's just, it's not new. You know, like having a amazing complete snow map, that's kind of new. Like, I mean, we had a snow map, but like one like this is just fantastic. And then, you know, having the autumn map or the fall map, that was cool. You know, everything's so yellow and having that new vibrant colors. This one is just Caspian border. Like, I hate making that like analogy, but it is. It's just it seems like a more vehicle-based Caspian border. It's kind of like what it plays as, and I don't know. And no jets. We needed to mention that for the vehicles. It has everything.
Probably on PC though. It probably will have jets because it is big.
Yeah, most likely. It's a big map. But this one follows Riverside, where it has little birds and no jets. But that's pretty much it, guys. Nothing too special here. But we want to thank you guys for watching. You can like the video if you want. There will be links to all of our other reviews, and we have one more map to go, and then air superiority. So we're looking forward to it. And you can subscribe to see more. We'll see you in the next video.